Hi, everybody, and welcome to Signature West Podcast. I'm your host, Sam West from Palm Springs, California. Boy, it's hot out here. As you know, I'm a seasoned real estate agent since 1991, and I bring you the podcast to bring you inspiring stories. It's literally 113. Um, but that's only like July and August-ish, and we're great after that. Um, Today is no exception about inspiring stories. Today, I want to talk about Zillow. Zillow. Zillow is a great tool that you all use out there, but it's not your best friend. And I will explain. When Zillow launched years ago, we were all very excited. It was a new tool. It was intended to be a bridge between the consumers, sellers and buyers, and the industry, realtors, brokers, lenders, and to connect. Just to connect, you know? And we authorize, when I get a listing, I check a box, I authorize to give that to Zillow to advertise. A win-win. Why not? That's how they get their inventory, by the way, which is great. As all platforms, when they grow, things get a little messy. CEOs get more complicated and they try to redo things and maybe change CEOs and platform changes. And at some point, they launched Zestimate, which is estimate value for the consumers. If you're looking for a home, it tells you how much it's worth. If you're looking to sell your home, it tells you how much it's worth. And that's when things got a little problematic. Consumers, like everywhere else, they get hooked, especially when it comes to real estate. There's a phrase, real estate porn, for a reason. You've probably heard of it. Most people, all of you out there walking around with Zillow, Zillow said, and you can be out to lunch with friends and looking at Zillow and comparing your phones. And I looked at this property, I saw this property. Zillow comes up with a value by using data, what's sold in the area, on the block down the street, like we do. Google map photos of the street up and down. And that's it. That's it. They don't go inside the home, see the curb appeal, the upgrades that were made, if any, the deferred maintenance it has, if any. That would be a true value. The view from the back, the view from the bedroom, things like that. Can't. So how can you possibly give a value on a home you have not seen? Could you imagine you seller, Mr. Seller, calling a realtor and he or she, and asking them to give you a value for your home that you consider to selling, and they'll tell you, okay, hold on, I'll call you back in 15, 20 minutes, and they do the research online, and they call you back with a value. You haven't seen your home. Would you trust them? Trust her or him? I hope not. I really hope not, but maybe you do. I don't know. The same thing. Same thing. Not only that, but it made our lives, my life, when a client comes in or a seller says, well, Zillow said. So now I have to explain how Zillow works and try to, it's bad enough when you walk into a seller and the seller said, my neighbor sold for so much more. Well, your neighbor has an extra bedroom. Well, but my house has a hot tub. And there's that conversation. Now there's that conversation. Well, Zillow said. So it makes our life more complicated. And at the end of the day, it's just not a healthy conversation to have because it's based on what? Based on what? We love conversations with facts on everything. This one has solar, this one does not. This one has $100,000 kitchen. This one had a, has no kitchen yet. This one has a pool. This one has no pool. These are the things that we see when we walk into the property. And you can get yourself an evaluation from a professional for free. For free. So why are you so hooked on this platform that hasn't seen your property? Well, because we're humans and we like online, we like to ask, Siri, everything. We no longer even want to punch a button. We want to just, hey, Siri, what happened today? That's how we become now. That's who we are. So, eventually, things got more problematic for Zillow. Zillow was involved, just to show you real data. Zillow was involved in recent years in 8 lawsuits. Those 8 lawsuits were about legal challenges involving regulations. Imagine that. Consumers' copyrights issues, a big one. And an antitrust claims, that's a huge one, huge one. And those are all results from getting more away from the original thought, the original idea of what Zillow was built. Now look at how can we make more money? How can we go in the down market and make more money? How can we buy properties and sell it ourselves? It gotten way, way away from the original intention of the platform. And that's how things work. So the purpose of today is you can do whatever you want. You can use whatever you want. I'm not here to cancel Zillow. It has its advantages for sure. I'm here just to show you the pros and the cons. At the end of the day, you make your decision because it costs nothing to get a professional opinion. So why wouldn't you, if you really want to sell? But if you just want to, fantasize about the appreciation of your home or not, and online kicking time, great, that's also good. But if you're buying, the inventory that we have is a lot more accurate than what Zillow has. Because remember, they get the inventory from us, from me. So if something I sold today or closed yesterday, Zillow might not have it updated yet. And here you are, I want to see it today. It's gone. Too bad. Energy well spent. Energy well spent. So that's all I have to say on the Zillow situation. I hope this was helpful to you all. I hope that you find this of value, whether you're selling or you're buying. Buying a home is a very, very, very decision-making for the buyers out there. And, or if you have a friend that's selling or buying, please, let's change the conversation. Let's educate everybody. It's just not about me. For now, Zillow's not going anywhere. Well, neither am I, for that matter. So neither is the industry. So, let's be mindful of what we're doing and what we're saying and how we're doing it and how we're saying it. So on that note, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Next Friday is the 31st, and it's going to be my 100th episode. 100th episode. And I'm going to do something different. I am bringing back 3 guests from the past. Great people, very mindful, do a lot of good work. They're all locals. They're all from Palm Springs. And I wanted to catch up with them and see where they have been up to. It should be very exciting. So tune in for that. And if you subscribe, you'll get a notification and you should be all good to go. On that note, I will see you next Friday. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.